Hi, it's Jason Kerr here from Kerr Farm Vineyard in Kumeu, New Zealand, and I've had quite a few requests from people wanting to know how to transplant an old vine. So these are people who have seen my videos on how to take grapevine cuttings and how to prune grapevines, and this is a recurring question, so I thought I'd make a little video just to show you. There's a few things you need: a pair of secateurs, a good solid pair of loppers. If it's a really big old vine, you might need a little hand saw. Also a good solid spade with a bit of weight in it. This is a tree planting spade. A stake to stake the vine to, and something to tie the vine to that stake. That little bird that you just heard is a New Zealand fantail that always flutters around when you're doing these types of things. Anyway, we'll go off down the vineyard and see what we see. Hi, I'm going to talk to you today about transplanting an old vine. Sometimes you have an old vine around the house that you want to move to another spot, or you're moving house and you want to take the vine with you. So here's a little rundown of what we're going to do. This is a lovely little Chardonnay vine here, so we'll use this one. It's lovely and healthy. So the first thing we'll do is roughly chop it back. So we'll chop off these bigger canes and just clear a bit of space away. Now if you need some of these bits are bigger, you might just need to use a little handsaw. That's okay. So we'll just trim these back, and what we'll do is we'll leave some spurs here. So you can see these are last year's wood, so there's 2 buds. Just cut that back, leave a few little buds around the place, and that'll be the start of next year's fruiting cane. So as you can see, it's quite brutal. You take it right back. And the best time to do this, of course, is during the winter, or definitely after the vine has given its fruit. So you don't really want to do it in the middle of summer. So this is late April and the vine has been picked and we're going into winter. So there we go. So now we've got that, we'll just trim a few of these right back. We don't need quite so many stalks. Get my big loppers. Let's tidy that up. And that's looking good. So the next thing to do is to dig the vine out. This is a good heavy spade, good as a tree planting spade, and what you want to do is get down and cut the roots right in full spade depth. Get down as far as you can. You can hear the spade going through the root. You can see here I've dug all around the roots, and we'll get it out. There's just a few big ones to cut through, so you just cut through with your spade and pull it out. This is quite tidy, but you can just trim off any of these little bits. Leave some of these little straggly little ones. They're the ones that really pick up quickly and start to build new big strong roots. So that's all you need to do, and we'll go off and put that in a new little hole. This is a closer look at the vine we just dug out, and as you can see, I've left these little spurs here, and they've all got a couple of buds on them, and that will just be from where the new shoots will spurt next spring. So if you can, leave a few spurs. It's not always necessary. Sometimes you can cut the vine off right at the head, and if you make a few little knife marks around the side, that will stimulate the bud to form and a new shoot to come. So don't be totally worried about having spurs, but it always helps. Now comes the planting process. So I've dug a hole here. I'll just dig it out a little bit more. It needs to be a bit deeper than the root that you're going to, the rooting area of the vine you're going to plant. So it's always good to loosen up the sides, get a bit of soft earth around for the vine to get started. You don't want to put it into something really hard. What I like to do is mix a little bit of blood and bone or general fertiliser into the bottom and then just dig it in, because you don't want the fertiliser to come in direct contact with the roots, particularly the little roots, which are quite delicate. So let's see if that's digging. Let's see if that's deep enough. Yep, I think that's pretty good. I might just make a bit more of a hole there. Yes, that's good. You don't want to plant it much deeper than what it was originally. And as you can see, I've put the spurs on the side where our fruiting wire is. So it's sort of set up for when the shoots grow, they can go onto the wire. Just backfill. Give it a push down as you go. Don't fill it all up and then try and stomp it down, because you want to get all the air out of the soil. And then you could put another little sprinkle of general fertiliser that'll just wash in just over the next area that's away from the roots. Put some more soil in. Give it another stomp down, because if you leave air gaps where those air gaps are, with winter coming up, it's likely to fill up with water and drown the plant. It's looking good. Good job for the winter, keeps you warm. Now, because this is quite a heavy vine, I'm going to give it a little bit of support. And I like to use these are actually sheep fence poles, but they work just fine for this. Just put it right in. And the good thing with the sheep fence pole, it's got these little clips, and you can just click it onto the wire. So that's quite firm. And the other thing I like to do is just tie the vine to it. Now, I use bits of old t-shirt, anything like that, and you just tie it quite loosely. You can use hairy string, you can use all sorts of things, but something that's not going to cut into the vine. And I find the old t-shirt's quite good, so any bits and pieces you can tear into strips. And the other thing is, after a year or two, it's being cotton that will just rot away, and it'll be easy to remove. So that's looking like pretty much it. This will just, over the winter, it will slowly put on new roots, and then when spring comes, it will burst forth.